It's time for some waffle talk. We just finished episode, what was it, 81? 82?
82, 80, 81, episode 81.
All right. We have Holly with us today. Thank you very much for coming again. And she just finished playing Strix.
I did.
And now we're going to ask her a ton of questions. With me is Annalise and Shauna.
Hi. Hey.
All right. So Shauna, can you summarize this episode really quick?
Oh, so there's no Paulton. Dieth got psychic feedback from the Gaius. They went into a tomb where they fought some wisps, and they followed Simon into the Shadowfell where Paulton is with the hand and the ring. And he caught a ride with on a wagon with two Shadowkai.
Mm-hmm.
And one that has a bag of faces, and they're apparently assassins. And they had gone to the inn, and they plan on killing the Waffle Crew to sacrifice to create some sort of new demiplane of dread where no one can touch the ring.
A domain of dread. That's
crazy. He's trying to make a new Barovia with Paulton.
Yeah, and then the Waffle Crew followed through, and they got all sorts of madness, and Chris tried to make them fight waffles, which was awful.
Yep. I did not appreciate that.
Why?
And that's where we...
But Strix took care of that, right?
I mean, no, but for an hour. So what's going to happen is, my plan with that is to not continue to polymorph her, but to make a blindfold. Mm-hmm. So, if she, decides to, reach it, just, make a lead in a blindfold so that, she can't do anything. That's my plan. Hopefully.
So the Shadowfell, for people who might be newer to D&D, the Shadowfell is, there's the Feywild, which is the kind of crazy fairy realm. And then there's the Shadowfell, which is, the kind of dark, evil realm that the Raven Queen lives in. And also in the Shadowfell, there's domains of dread. I think, technically, Barovia is one of the domains of dread, but there are others.
That is correct.
In other editions. Mm-hmm. So it sounds like the setup here is that Paulton might become a Dark Lord and get his own domain of dread. Do I have that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
This is Darth Paulton all over again.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's that the inkling for that was before, and I feel like Chris knew that Nate was having fun with it. So I think that I think it was perfect because it's I know it's awful for us, but because he was so into that whole Dark Lord thing before, and he was maybe it would be fun. Chris was being the amazing DM he is, he's oh, I'm just gonna give this to my player, just let him be evil, I guess. I don't know.
It's weird though. It's the group is split. I mean, how long can you keep them split like that? You know what I mean?
It's creating great conflict, and I think that I am glad that this is something that Nate's enjoying. It seems to really be engaging him, and he seems to be really enjoying it. As bad as that is for us, it's great for the player, and everything will work out in the end. Either good or bad. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. We have whoever this guy Sackman is, he could be super powerful. We don't know what his deal is. I mean, his face is cut off, but at least he can do something for us. So Sackman's good. We have Waffles, who is very powerful. It's a big monster. So if we do have to face the Paulton and these two elves, we should be able to, really. I mean, I might be a little bit too optimistic, but I don't know. I do have a bunch of really good new spells that I didn't even talk about that much before the episode because it was kind of spoilery, but I have a bunch of really good plans to pretty much buff the party. Really? So,
nice.
Yeah.
Do you have one that can restore faces?
No, I don't. But I do have one that I was thinking for doing. I can do a twin spell. So I was going to do twin spell haste on Dieth and Evelyn, which gives Evelyn a third attack. So that buffs them quite a bit. And I learned that from Rudy the other day. He went through he was I'm going to show you all the great ways to fix up your stuff. And I was good, because I only like things that are a novelty. I can grow gills. Isn't that fun?
Okay, so I think it had been said on earlier episodes that the Ring of Winter was made by elves, right?
Yes.
So
apparently it was made by these Dusk Elves in the Shadowfell.
That's weird.
By the Shadowkai.
Yeah.
Dusk Elves and the Shadowkai, two separate things, right? I mean, they're not.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know.
One's Barovia and one is in Shadowfell. I mean, they're both evil, I guess.
Unclear. It seems like Chris was implying that they may be related.
Right. Yeah, I think he
Mhm.
was.
Makes sense. I mean,
I think because the Shadowfell is where the domains of dread are, that would make sense that the Dusk Elves would be Dusk Elves in Barovia, but there'd actually be the Shadowkai or whatever from the Shadowfell.
I've never.
Which also,
heard about them before.
like, quick question: Shadowfell is where that big city is, where the Wall of Souls is, right?
Gloomrot, I
Mhm.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, isn't that where like souls that are unaligned to a deity go to live? They get shoved in a wall and then slowly rot in the wall.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Strix knows that, and that's why she's always just like, well, we're all just screwed anyway. Yeah,
I
so-
thought he was leading you guys. I think the place the Raven Queen lives in is called Latherna, and there's mountains and stuff. I was kind of wondering, are you guys gonna go there? I mean, I was kind of weird, right? I mean, like,
I don't know.
what is he doing with the Raven Queen? I don't understand what. This
Oh, apparently
is.
the chat says, yeah, that's called the Wall of the Faithless, and it's in the Fugue Plane. So it's not
Well, no, it's
technically not in the Shadowfell.
Oh, okay.
Thank
Mhm.
you.
Yeah.
I thought they were the same thing.
Yeah, so I thought
Um,
I was surprised he's doing all this Raven Queen stuff, and it's kind of like, I don't understand. The hand was Chigakari's hand, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Chigakari, I don't want to spoil anything. Chigakari is described in the book a little bit. I probably shouldn't even say anything, but
No, I'm
What?
sure like it's got some like he always ties it into the adventure, but like now we're in Chris Perkins land, which
Mhm.
honestly that's when I start getting real scared. Like I'm
It's a
fine
th-
being
a
in the
theme
book, 'cause
park
I'm
of
like, okay,
doom.
like this is a normal amount of like scary for normal D&D players, and as soon as we step over into the Chris Perkins land, I'm just like, this all bars off. This is like it. This all here it goes.
Uh-huh.
This is where we all. This is it.
okay. Stop me.
I do-
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I do wonder if because in the Shadowfell there's Gloomrot, and I think there's another town as well. I can't remember the name, but they're reversals of like Waterdeep and Neverwinter on the prime material plane. But these are like twisted inversions of them, and I'm wondering what would happen if there was reverse snowfall in the Shadowfell version of Waterdeep,
Mm.
and if that was not Waterdeep that we saw, but Gloomrot instead.
Oh yeah, that's
Mhm.
that's possible for sure. That's a good idea because if he made his own domain of dread, it would probably be that most likely.
That is really crazy. So I
Domain of drink and ice.
Domain of just
so
drinking.
Chigakari, he's a Chultan warrior who stole his king's prize steed, which was a mastodon, and as punishment, the king's sorcerers banished him to the 9 hells. So devilly stuff.
Yeah.
Which is very Strixy. So,
Yeah.
Don't know what that means, but his body was there and he was missing the hand. So the hand he has, are we saying that hand is Chigakari's hand?
I'm pretty sure that is his hand because I remember the Raven Queen telling him, I was the Raven Queen saying, let it clutch the chalice. So that's what the Raven Queen said about that hand. So
Oh.
I guess that he hasn't asked, but I'm assuming that at this point he has this chalice and he's let this hand clutch the chalice, I guess, because the chalice was gone. It wasn't in the body. So that's the only thing we can assume. But I have a feeling that this is just my theory of where we're going with this, is I think the Raven Queen wants the Ring of Winter.
The Raven Queen used to be the goddess of winter before she became the Raven Queen.
Oh.
That's why I think it's
I do-
her.
I do have some comments from J Crow on Twitter saying that do you think the Ring of Winter belongs to the Raven Queen? 1, she is the patron of winter. 2, she led Polton to Chigakari. 3, she resides in the Shadowfell. And 4, Tomb of Annihilation says the ring can only be destroyed by the, quote, Summer Queen.
Yeah. She just wants the ring back. That's why Bolton is there. And so it's like, I can see us that we're going to be, we'll probably have to fight Bolton for a while, but like I have a feeling there's going to be some like crazy thing that happens where the Raven Queen just shows up.
Wow.
Like, and we're just like literally
Wow.
like she's just there because I mean I would love that if we got to like meet an actual power. That would make Strix so happy. She'd be like, "Whoa, it's so
That'd be
cool."
So awesome.
Makes Strix question everything.
No, she knows the powers are real. She just thinks they're super powerful. She doesn't know they're god. Like she doesn't care that they're gods. She just thinks that they're like mortals who have become, super powerful, which is,
Well, that's exactly what the Raven Queen is. She was a mortal who ascended somehow to godhood.
Exactly. So Strix is gonna
Which does give credence to the whole Aether tenets of the gods. The gods are powerful, but you can be a god and you can kill the gods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's true. That is a true tenet, but like that's why they were destroyed.
I believe the Raven Queen's origin was that she ended up with Neril, who was the old god of death, who's like this skeleton with like green hair, and he's like kind of like the Grim Reaper. But then she actually overthrew him and usurped him and took his spot. And supposedly, one of my favorite D&D NPCs, Vorkisis, the Master of Fate, who's in that Gloomrot box set, he's might be the son of the Raven Queen. And there was one time a long time ago where Chris Perkins had asked who people's favorite NPC villains were, and I said it was Vorkisis, and he made some comment like he liked Vorkisis too, so maybe Vorkisis will show up somehow.
He'll be coming back. Yeah, could be.
Because he's in the Hall of Final Fate, where like these souls that kind of the lost souls go, and he does stuff with them. And he's like this big crazy guy with no eyes and a lightning halo, and it's like he can do a lot of cool stuff with it. I would love to see. I can't believe he's going to use the Raven Queen on the show. It's going to be really cool,
And
I know.
I think that it's not necessarily a bad. The Raven Queen being introduced, it's not necessarily going to end badly, since by all accounts, the Raven Queen should hate the Death Curse.
And that's why she gave that to him.
Yeah, that's true. Because the souls are being stolen. Yeah.
She's not, and I don't remember what's her alignment. I'm not. Is it neutral or
Raven Queen?
the Raven? Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, I think she's like true neutral. I think, not positive, but she's got all those Sorrow Sworn servants, which are like super Shatterkai, like the best of the Shatterkai are transformed. It's like it's so great. He put you in. I can't believe he put you in the Shadow. It's like we were in the Tomb of Annihilation, and now we're off. We're off to somewhere else.
This feels very similar to when we got thrown back to Barovia again. So it was like it was starting to like Storm King's Thunder was just starting to peter out, and we're starting to like figure out all that stuff. And you saw some of the adventure, and then we went on Chris's wild ride back to Barovia, and this is
it's worse than Van Richten's.
Yeah, it's like we've been in Chult for a long time. We've seen a lot of Chult. We've actually seen the tomb. Like Evelyn has been in the tomb. We've seen all this stuff, and now it's time for us to go back into Chris Perkins' wild ride, which is where things get really bad.
Yeah.
Is there a possibility that the Raven Queen could possibly like help you guys, considering like what the Death Curse is doing? Yeah.
I think she has helped us by giving us that hand. I think that was like a long-term thing. Like maybe that was supposed to get us to the Shadowfell, was supposed to get the ring to her, was supposed to do all of that stuff. Like maybe I think that it might have been something that was supposed to happen from very early on.
Okay, Manga Bent asked, has Nate been making a new character and talking about it on Twitter?
I think he's playing the game. It's not for our game.
Oh, it's for a different game? Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think he's just playing more D&D. I don't think he's
really?
New one.
He just also enjoys tormenting us, so
no, he's not. I know that he loves Paulton, so I wouldn't stress.
Yeah,
unless we kill him, and then he will have to. So just give it time.
Dan Dillon says in the Dawn War deity chart in the DMG, the Raven Queen is lawful neutral. And Ram Holt, do you think this is how Chris will transition the crew into extraplanar adventures?
Yes.
I mean, I think it's possible because right now, like I said, like this adventure, we're coming to the end of this adventure because I don't know how many episodes we have left, like 8 or something like that.
Yeah.
But
so I think
you're transitioning to season 4 with episode 91.
Yeah, that's right. And I don't think that we have a break in between, do we?
Really?
I don't think we do. We might have like a week or 2, but I don't think we have a very long break. So And I'm not sure when their new adventure comes out. Like, I don't know. I haven't paid attention to that, but I'm pretty sure there was a large gap in between there. So we're going to be on Chris Perkins' Wild Ride for a while.
Yeah.
I think what's going to happen is that a lot of it will tie into modern Kanan's Tome of Foes, and
Okay, yeah.
I mean that's probably one of the reasons why you're in the Shadowfell, because there's probably going to be information on the Shadar-kai, as well as all the kooky races like Githzerai and Githyanki, more tiefling stuff. That's going to be
I
fun.
love that. Isn't Shemeshka in this too?
Yes,
I think so.
Yeah.
The book is written from the point of view of Shemeshka stole the notes from Modern Kanan and published them into a book.
I hate that.
Oh.
I mean, I love that, but I hate that. I'm really worried there's going to be like things in there about our game, and I'm like, oh god.
That would be so cool. They should do that. They should mention. I always thought it would be cool.
He put in the staff of bird calls for me. That was for
He did?
Yeah,
me.
I love that.
So
I think-
I was like, that's the coolest thing I've ever gotten. Thank you, Chris. Is my staff of bird calls.
I think if we see anything Waffle Crew related in Modern Kanans, it's going to be the Lorcatha and the
Oh,
Skizix.
for sure. I think if he puts that in anything, he would put it in something like that, because it's like that's such a huge, weird planar thing that he made up. Like that doesn't exist anywhere else. So it's definitely a cool like new lore bit. But I would love to read more about that. I mean, no spoilers, obviously.
So I was thinking, if you guys have to fight Paulton, what would you do? He's got the Ring of Winter. Would you kill him? Would you kill Paulton?
Yeah. Oh, I would drop him immediately.
You would?
If he's threatening everyone else, Strix would drop him. Hardcore.
Really?
Oh yeah. Oh, if he's crazy, he's under the influence of the ring. Like if he wasn't under the influence of the ring, like sure, no, she wouldn't do that. But she knows that that's like an evil thing. But I mean, I have taken some spells that will hopefully help in this situation. But I mean, I just don't know. I just don't know, because like the main thing I'm worried about is Crown of Madness. That's really the main thing that I'm worried about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Because
bad news.
if he gets that off and on Strix or Evelyn, like everyone's dead. Like it's just there's no way about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he does
So-
that, if he does that to Strix,
Yeah, that's it.
because you do you
A
do
lot
a
of
lot
damage.
of damage.
Yeah.
And
I
what was it?
believe that
I do have counter spell, so I do have that.
Nice.
So like
it's just going to be a counter spell off, because
Yeah.
Paulton has that too.
I know I do have that, but like, and I did take Hold Person again, so I do have that. But like, I also have like really stupid things, like spoilers for anyone that doesn't want to know my spells. But I also have Life Transference. So like, if anyone is hurt, Strix could literally heal them just by draining her own life. So
I know who she'd do that for.
that's one of my character themed stupid spells. But I was thinking Death Ward on herself and then Life Transference would be like an
That could
interesting.
work.
Yeah, it could work.
Yeah. What was?
I also
What
have
was it?
Mass Cure Wounds now because we needed that.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna come in handy.
Yeah, we needed that.
Yeah. Buddy in the chat says, yeah, 3 party members have disadvantage on their mental state, so that could be really important, because that could be.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yes,
Oh, yeah,
for
we
Crown
also
of
have-
Madness. for
Yeah.
suggestion.
That's why, like, I'm
Or-
thinking, like, so, like, with the ring and with, like, but again, bards are super powerful with spells. Like, all of this stuff, like, it's like, I think of it like a video game where it's a sense, like Strix was made for, like, PvE. And, like, Paulton was made for PvP. Like, making everyone insane and everything. But, like, Strix was made for just, like, killing tons of monsters and doing tons of damage, but not really not with, like, a ton of strategy involved. So the spells that Paulton has are just so like, I mean, I don't know how we can kill him. I don't know how we can do it. I don't think we can.
He has 5th level spells, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yeah,
Big ones.
I really don't think that we can. And that's why I think like maybe the Raven Queen stuff will come in. Like that's
He's that one really powerful MMO character who just wrecks you at PvP. And Diath's not going to be able to do anything.
Oh, Diath has like so
No.
little hit points. Like, cool in
No, he-
general.
I'm so worried.
Oh,
Death Ward.
Yeah, Death Ward.
Does
Paulton
Tree-
is Valor Bard, right? Or not Valor, but Lore. Lore. Yeah.
Lore.
Yeah. Oh, good. At least he's not a.
I think you
Glamour
could take
Bard.
him. The ring is powerful, but it's not.
That's true. I mean, it's like it depends on initiative, really.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on what those elves can do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it really just depends. I have a sneaky idea.
Yeah.
That he's probably not watching, so I'll just tell you guys my sneaky.
What is it?
My sneaky idea is that they get to an inn and Simon is walking to the inn. They know he's in there. They know it. So my idea is to either alter self or do something like that to be able to sneak into the inn or polymorph self to poison everyone in the inn.
Oh.
You're going to become Strahd again?
Yeah, Strix is just going to put weird plants into the drinks, and that's what's going to happen. And then everyone just like wait outside, just stay here, poison time. Like,
you could just blow up the whole inn, right? Just fireball.
I mean, that's possible to blow up the whole inn, but it's like, I feel like that would be out of character because like it's like she doesn't know who's in. There could be an innocent person in there, so she's not going to do that. But like, see if she goes in there and it's like, holy shit, there's a bunch of evil elves and Paulson in here. Time to poison everyone.
Oh,
or could I guess peek in, go, holy shit, there's a bunch of evil in here, leave, and then blow up the inn? I don't know.
I've gotten a comment about Crown of Madness. It forces a melee attack.
Oh, so it doesn't do spells.
Won't do spells.
No spells.
Oh,
That's good.
interesting.
But it could still do evil.
I feel like Chris would be like, you cast fireball. It's just be like,
He might. Yeah. I guess he would do that on
I want to know if he has. I want to know if he has dominates. Is it dominate monster?
I think he has dominate purse. Does he have dominate?
he
purse
does
at this
have
level?
dominate. He did it to Diaz.
Oh, that's
That was command, wasn't it?
command.
Was
But
it
I think he might. I think he might have access to dominate person, which is
Well, then
bad.
Evelyn Madness would be bad because she does so much damage, and especially if she had already been hasted, she gets 3 attacks.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's insane. But it was suggestion, yeah. Thank you, chat. They're so
Yeah.
fast.
Oh my, look at that.
They're so fast. I don't even remember what I do for breakfast, and you guys remember what spell Paulton used.
So is these face cutting people? I mean, what is their deal? Like what? I don't.
They're just from Chris Perkins' Wild Ride. That's where they're from. It's like
and they want to cut
like ogre business.
And they want to cut your faces off. Is that the deal?
I think they just collect things. He said they were like collectors of like trinkets and stuff, and the one girl just collects faces, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Like,
I mean,
just...
I'm not gonna kink shame.
No, me neither. Me neither. No kink shaming. Look, if it makes you happy, do it. Usually, if it's not murder, that's bad, like or face cutting. But you know what? It's fine. But I have to say though that Nate has been doing such an amazing job because Paulton is the most chaotic neutral I have ever seen in my life.
Without being like, you know, some people chaotic neutral, they play it kind of like disruptive. He's not really disruptive.
Yeah.
He's just playing.
No, he takes all of the bait that Chris gives him that to make things hard for us.
Yeah,
which is interesting.
He plays it as someone who plays out his selfish desires. Like he wanted that ring. He wanted bat power. He just wants things for himself.
Yeah.
He is his own priority, and then his friends. Whilst they're his friends, they come second.
Yeah. Right.
Someone in
crew is just nonsensically stupid about like loving each other and killing each other for each other.
and self-sacrifice.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
Have someone in the chat who's saying, "Still got the egg bomb."
Oh, I know. I know.
Yeah.
You do.
Do you want to blow up the Shadowfell?
Who has that right now?
Evelyn does.
She's just carrying it around like.
The key's still in it.
The key's still in it.
And the key's still in it. Yeah. I don't think we can take the key out.
She's carrying the egg bomb around in the shadow.
Yeah.
Is it like a grenade now? If you take the key out and throw it, is it going to?
No, that's what I think. I think if we take the key out, it's just going to start again.
Yeah.
What? You could blow up that whole inn with the bomb. If everybody's evil in there, just there you go. Take care of that.
That's true. I don't really want to blow up Paulton. I want to try and save Paulton. I want to try and get the ring off of him. Like, but that's why I feel like as soon as I feel like this is just feeling story-wise. Like like it's gonna get real bad. One of us is probably gonna die, and then like hopefully like the Raven Queen will show up and be like, "This is my ring. Okay, bye."
I mean,
My
you guys still have those backup souls still, the little grub things.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Yes. That's
Forgot
right.
about those, and don't miss the clones too. We have the
Oh
clones.
god, the clones.
Oh yeah, and the
That's-
clones.
None
Yeah.
of this is bad at all. It's
Nope.
fine.
All which.
Paulton has one too, a second soul.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we all do
Mm.
besides Evelyn.
So even if you
Well,
did kill
if-
Paulton, he would come back.
If you ever need to cross the sticks, then you can trade those soul worms for
That's
safe
true.
passage.
That is true. That is true. There's always a silver lining in the dark.
But you'd have to get them out though, right? They're
Yeah.
in you, right?
Yeah, I guess.
You
I don't know.
you know,
I mean,
I am just
Perkins Wild Ride. Who knows?
I'm just 100% worried they're gonna possess you at some point.
Oh, yeah.
I'm worried about. Don't worry, I've thought about that too.
Mm.
Really?
Oh, can I just
So-
say this episode made me laugh so hard is that Strix's ailment didn't change her at all.
Yeah.
She was just like, "Oh, you think you're gonna die here?" And he's like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna die everywhere."
How is this different from normal?
It's not. It's not. I have disadvantage, but pretty much I'm just the same person.
So it's like super Strix. That's how I was
Yeah,
thinking of it.
yeah.
You're just more.
But it
freaked
almost
out.
made her more brave because she's just like, if she's gonna die there, she's just like gonna fiercely defend everyone and try and
Mhm.
make sure that like no one kills them.
Mhm. CC Phantom had asked an interesting question about the teardrop earring. Right? What was that?
Mhm.
Does anybody know?
Mm.
what
I
that
think that was just a magical item. It was just it was from a actually I saw because like we have a different angle at Chris and he was looking at I forget which book he was looking at. He rolled on a table. It was one of the official tables for magical items or
Mhm.
mundane magic. It might have been the Xanathar's mundane magical item book.
Really?
I
He was
can
rolling.
check that right
something.
now.
Mhm.
I just saw him roll on a table. I was like, Chris is rolling on a table, or it's from a trinket table that someone in chat said.
A trinket table? Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's a
Or
Oh,
trinket.
it's from
the-
it's from the
player's
player's handbook.
Oh,
player's
okay.
handbook.
Player's handbook.
Dan
Nice.
Tillman. All right.
Yeah, so he was just giving him a fun trinket,
Yeah.
but that'll probably be cursed or horrible later because that's what you get. He's like, you want a trinket? I'm like, yeah, I love things, and then it's just like everything's bad, it's cursed or something terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
You could do all sorts
So
of
I'm
weird
sure
things.
he'll tie it into something horrific at some point.
Yeah. It's probably
Yeah.
like the Raven Queen's tear or something like that.
Yeah.
Something like really.
Yeah,
weird.
I think they're saying was Take It in chat said that I love that Strix is kind of forced into a leader role here, which is
Mhm.
yeah. I mean,
Mhm.
she has to. Like, she's the only one who's not crazy. I mean, she's crazy, but she's always been crazy.
Yeah.
Mhm. It's weird to see Evelyn in the Shadowfell, such like a good character.
I know.
In a realm of total evil, you know.
I'm kind of glad that she doesn't see anything as real
Mhm.
because then it's just like, oh, she just thinks it's a dream. Okay,
Mhm. Yeah. I
she's
wrote
just gonna paladin her way out of this.
Like, the item is a silver teardrop earring made from a real teardrop, and
like
that's just in the player's handbook.
So I noticed you had cast Remove Curse on the Gaius spell,
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
towards the beginning. I didn't even realize you could. Like, I had to look it up and be like, oh,
You
that's all have to
can.
do?
You
Yeah.
can. I knew that. I knew you could do that, but I just like I don't know. I was like, this is probably like a worse case. I don't know. I mean, it's from like a crazy person, so it's probably way worse. But
Mhm.
apparently, it's not. So that's why. But like Strix just like low key knows that Shemeshka knows whatever is happening, and so that's why she was like, "We're gonna get the glasses. Don't worry, we're gonna do it. Just
Mhm.
don't get mad."
She was absolutely scrying on that.
Oh,
Uh,
100%.
For people who don't know, Shemeshka has a mirror which she has carried with her all the time, which she can use to scry on anything.
Anyone, anywhere, anytime. It's like a god tier magical item.
Mhm.
So she knows everything that's going on. So like Strix feel like scrying spells Strix knows about. She doesn't know about the mirror, but she knows she's probably listening. So and she probably knows that she felt the Gaius break, and so that's
Mhm.
why she's like, "We're gonna get him. Please, just give us this one hot take to go get our bard back, please."
Did Chris say that you felt like you were being watched? Or
No, he didn't.
okay.
No, I just it's like I just feel like Strix knows that she knows because any kind of break in magical ties, like she's gonna know. She knows what's going on.
always assume that Shemeshka knows everything.
Exactly. Which is just like, don't, please.
I don't think you'll ever fight Shemeshka, will you? It's not that kind of a...
No.
I hope so.
I don't think we'll ever fight her.
If
because I don't think that she's the one that has done all of this terrible stuff to us. Mm-hmm. There is some other machination between all the the Lorkatha and Skizix that is behind all of this. I don't think it's her. I think she's benefiting from it, but I don't think she's the one that is causing it.
I mean, she's an Arcanoloth, and Yugoloths and Arcanoloths benefits a lot of the time from war or from schisms, and especially if you look at things like the Blood War, it's theorized that the Yugoloths are the ones who are orchestrating all of that between the devils and the demons. So it wouldn't surprise me if she was trying to keep the ball moving with the Skizix and Lorkatha schism.
I wouldn't be surprised if she organized everything to make it so that, this is what I want to keep me making money or making profit from this situation. So I'm just going to keep it going.
Mm-hmm.
John Tastic asks, what about Waffles? So he wants to know what's going to happen to Waffles after the 1 hour runs out.
Well, I'm just going to make her a blindfold and a leash. If she's blindfolded, and as many times as you can cast polymorph or something on her.
Mm-hmm.
Chris isn't that evil, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't look at Gift Perkins in the mouth.
Yeah, no, don't.
There's so many pets. So many pets.
He was ready to have a full fight. He was initiative. He was going to do the whole thing.
He just wants to scare us.
Wow.
He loves scaring us.
That was
I have a question from Lyra on Twitter asking, have you considered removing Polton's tongue or speech, thwarting the vocal requirements for spellcasting?
Oh my god.
Yes, I have thought about that. Not to remove his tongue, but I've thought about gagging him or using Mage Hand to shove Mage Hand in his mouth, or I have thought about things like this, definitely. I also took Infestation, which is a fun new little cantrip from I think Xanathar's, which causes people to move backwards and bugs to get them. So I thought that was cool.
That's a very strict spell.
Yeah, but that's yes. I've been trying to figure out different ways to get that to happen, but it's getting. Oh, sorry, I'm so sleepy. It's getting close. It's getting close to him with the ring, which is the problem. But that's also why I took Animate Object, because if he makes an ice monster, I can make a monster, and it can fight the ice monster, and then we don't have to deal with the ice monster. And also, it's cool.
Id Buddy. Speaking of which,
it's just Pokemon then.
Yeah, exactly.
Chris's recent attempt on Miranda's life. Do you think he will make an attempt each episode?
Oh, yeah, he's done it every episode, yeah.
He blatantly does it every episode.
Yeah, he blatantly does it every episode just to keep everyone on their toes.
Just Waffles tries to kill you. Really?
Her long-term legacy is going to be that cloak that Evelyn wants.
What if
oh my god, I know.
What if she just if she just survives every week and she's just a Waffle Crew?
She's made it, yeah.
Definitely. How funny would that be?
Eventually, once the ring thing is solved, I think her quest is over. But she's waiting for us to get a hold of the ring, or for the ring to do something. Mm-hmm. So, but we are in the Shadowfell for a reason with the ring, and I feel like that's going to be a big reveal coming up in the next few episodes. So,
Miranda is there to get the ring. That's the deal.
She's there to make sure it doesn't fall into wrong hands.
Oh, well. It's in wrong hands.
Yes, it is. Yeah, that's a thing.
If you get the ring off of Paulton, would you give it to her, or would you guys keep it?
Oh, I would give it to her. It's her quest to take it. We don't want to deal with it. Give the Strahd the Dritz. Give the ring to her. Get away from us. It's not our problem anymore. Get out.
Nicole F says Chris just tweeted that the Shatterkai assassins are from Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes.
Oh,
how fun.
Oh wow, nice.
He's already working
That's
it in.
Exciting.
And
called it.
Nice, yeah.
And they have a canonical accent now, thanks to Chris. Italian.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Their last name is Provolone.
Mm-hmm.
God damn it. Cheese.
Meat Hook.
But-
is a
They
great
cast
name.
Mage
Okay,
Hand,
so
it's gonna look like this.
So the Shatterkai, we get to learn about them in that book. That's
Mm.
exciting. But I love that stuff when he does that in our game. It gives us such a cool like little preview, you know. And if you watch our show, it's like, oh, I get like fun little previews to the new stuff. I
Mhm.
think it's really exciting.
Yeah. So I wonder if he'll be rolling stuff out the whole time until the book comes
Cool.
out.
I hope so. That would
Yeah.
be really cool. I mean, especially since it's a lot of planar stuff and all of that. So
I really want to
I
see
think
him
he will.
use those infernal tieflings, where the tieflings link to the different archdevils. They each have
Yes.
their own kind of power.
Yeah.
I hope he does stuff with them because I think they're really cool.
yeah, those are super cool. And also more planescapey, which makes me super happy to see because I love that stuff because tieflings can be technically related to any fiend or demon or devil or whatever.
Mhm.
So instead of them just being like the one Asmodeus version, which was the common version, now it's like there's actually all these others that are from second edition that are super cool.
I
So
really want them to bring back that second edition table where you roll for tiefling features.
yeah, I love
Mhm.
that.
I love
Yeah.
that.
I loved that table too. I thought it was awesome, and it makes sense too. But like, I think it's interesting that I like pretty much took the second edition tiefling, and then it ended up to where that she was technically one of the Asmodeus tieflings. I was like, well, but
Mhm.
hey, all right.
Manga Ben.
The
Go ahead.
the Dita Lizzie tieflings are always going to be my favorite.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
same.
Yes.
Yeah, I love them.
To me, that's the definitive.
That was the original portrait I used for Strix. Was the Dieter Lizzie
Yes.
drawing.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wasn't that a it was a Dustman?
It was a Dustman. Yeah.
Mhm. Manga Ben, what were those evil buffalo? They might have been Kotobel passes. I don't know how to say it. The stinky cow
Oh, yeah.
monsters with the death gaze or whatever.
Yeah, it could have
I don't know
been.
what those were. I don't know. Because, I mean, if they have a death gaze, it would make sense, I guess,
Yeah.
that they're in the Shadowfell, maybe.
He described it, and I was like, I don't want to touch this.
It's
I
a
don't want anything to do with
weird.
this.
It's like the weirdest D&D monster that you never... No, I actually fought one the other day when we played Eberron. It's like the first
Oh,
time
nice.
I ever encountered a Kotobel pass in anything. So it was really scary, actually.
You
because it
say
was-
you say that, but there's some really weird shit down in Carcerai
Oh
and
yeah.
in the lower planes. So there's like
Um,
the four-legged bird monster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let's see.
I do have a question regarding last week's episode from Nebula Novum on Twitter. Any thoughts about that super cute, not foreboding moment when Dieth gave Strix one of his keys?
No, that's terrifying. It's a terrifying moment because it was supposed to be really sweet and nice and kind, and then Chris made it scary. So yeah, so we don't know. We don't know,
'Cause-
but there was some great fan art of it, which was really exciting.
There was.
You and Jared had been planning that for a while.
Yeah, we had been planning that for a while. Yeah, so
Hmm.
I was excited to see it happen, but I don't know why my brain thought that Chris wouldn't do something scary. Like I just
Mhm.
I don't know why I didn't think of it, and then when he was like, when you do that, I was like, God damn it. I was like, no, now I know. So, but it was great. It was I love that he did that because it's
Mhm.
like everything that we do has some kind of like incredible importance to the story, and I think that's
Mhm.
really
Do people here have any thoughts on what the keys may be?
I've heard like that they may be tied to like the Lorcathla souls, the other ones. That was one thing that I think people talked about at one point, but for me, I have really no idea what it is.
I
I don't
Was
want to
there-
think about it.
did Chris once mention that they maybe I'm just imagining this, that they all open some door and Shemeshka can't open that door until she has every one of the keys? Did
I don't know.
remember that? No.
Hmm.
But it's so weird
I
'cause
think
she made the sword, right? So
Yeah.
why does she
What
need
are
the
the keys?
keys?
Yeah,
I don't
it's-
get it.
It has something to do with the family. It has something to do with how she's benefiting from this situation. It has something to do with their souls. It has something to do with all this terrible stuff, which is why I'm just like not thinking about it. It's fine.
Mhm.
Figure it out when we come to it. But it's definitely whenever we find out, I know it's gonna be bad.
And it's coming.
I
Mhm.
know it's gonna be
You-
bad.
It's going to come before the end of the season. I think
I
there's
don't
going
think
to
so.
be a big.
I think that's gonna be all next season. I
Think so?
think.
I think
Hmm.
there'll be a big story drop just before you end season 3.
Mm. Yeah, it could be. Well, we have to get Mr. Fox's glasses anyway, which we're still gonna do. We're still doing it.
And that's
Promise.
spellbook.
And the spell book, we're gonna get them. Just please.
Nicole
Please don't.
F says, I saw in the subreddit that they had DF's feathers in them and something else about the Lorcatha.
I don't know what that is.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Hmm.
DS, what you mean from his wings, his Azamar wings that got cut off?
I mean, he's human. I don't think he's an Aasimar.
He's human, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's human, but it's something about his soul could be angelic. We don't know what that is, though.
Mhm.
Wicked Raygun in the chat says, I think they are Diath's past lives.
Oh, that's possible. Yeah, it could be.
Diath's past lives.
If he is an ancient soul and he is a Deva, perhaps then he would have been reincarnated several times.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And each key represents
So-
one of those?
It could be, yeah.
Mm.
Who knows?
No, it's just there's too many factors that we don't know. Like,
Yeah.
and I know that Chris will give us something that's something I didn't even think of, and I'll just be like, oh, okay. So it's just
Holly, you guys get any more Dice Camera Action stuff before I start bothering her about her new show?
Anything else?
Okay.
Let me just check for Twitter questions.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna check the Twitch.
Because I
We
want to
have a
know.
last call.
The last
I
call.
want to know everything.
I know. I mean, again, these are like super Paulton centric episodes, which is great. So I've been enjoying it.
It's interesting. He's like a crucial character. In some ways, the show revolves around him sometimes, right?
Yeah.
He's the antagonist almost, like the.
One last question, which is, what was going through your mind when you saw the original intro make a reappearance?
I'm sorry, you cut out for a second. What was it?
The original intro. What was going through your mind when you saw
we were
it?
we were all really scared. Like, if you could see us before it went on, we were like, no, why? Why? He's gonna do it to us every time. He just thinks it's so funny to watch us freak out.
Mm.
And it is. Like, he's not wrong. It is funny to watch us freak out.
Buddy. General question: do you think the Waffle Crew will have a happy ending?
I don't know. I think they'll have an ending, but I mean, it's like, I don't know.
I think
don't
it will be
expect anything.
bittersweet.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't want to expect anything. I don't want to expect bittersweet. I don't expect happy. I just want to let it happen.
Yeah, I don't know. He's definitely open to having it be a really depressing ending, I think. He's-
Totally.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's
he's-
options
he's-
open.
he's-
Oh, it is absolutely, yeah. But he also knows that, like, we don't like being sad, so we'll see.
He did at one point mention that the Waffle Crew. Oh gosh, what was it? It was a long time ago. He said somebody of importance mentioned that the Waffle Crew was like were heroes and that they were special or something. I can't remember exactly how it went, but like it gave a little bit of insight into what the Chris's overall picture of what this thing is,
Yeah.
and who the Waffle Crew is, and like what their role in the whole world is,
Mm.
So Strix might end up as like the ultimate wizard type of D&D, maybe like Elminster,
Sorcerer, you mean like sorcerer type? I don't know. I look, like, I'm happy that I got a staff of bird calls. So I don't want anyone to, like, I'm just happy that I'm just here. Like, if I can inspire anything and, like, give Chris ideas for like all the books and stuff like that, then that's rad. Like, I'm just happy that I get a chance to play with everyone.
When you get high enough level, are you going to take the wish spell?
I would love to, because I've never actually gotten high enough level to use it ever.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I don't feel like Strix would do that.
No?
I feel no. I don't feel like. I don't know. I don't feel like she would. I feel like
Mass
she could,
polymorph, though.
Yeah, mass polymorph, for sure. I
Mass.
feel like Fish is a little bit too, like. I don't know. Maybe she would. I don't know. I like the idea of time stop. I've always liked time stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Time
Mhm.
stop. Someone like Strix is able to stop something from happening, to stop something bad from happening, and I feel like that's a lot more like her than Wish is. I think.
If Strix had a lair, what would it be? Would it be like a
A
hut?
lair?
Yeah.
I don't think she wants a lair. I think
No?
she just wants a bakery.
A bakery? Really?
I think she just wants a bakery.
A bakery with lair actions.
Yeah, like a bakery with like a mage tower in the background where she could just have like lots of books and like weird bits and pieces and animal bits and things that she could do magic, and a cauldron, and like very witchy. I think like a witch tower with stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think the end game is that Strix kills Jim Dark Magic.
Oh.
Yeah.
Or or at least one of them, since there are two in the world.
them,
There's two. Yeah, we really
Yeah.
don't need two, so it's a free for all, honestly.
If
You can
they,
get the one without the soul, so that's fine.
if
Yeah,
they ever
exactly.
decided to wind down the Acquisitions Inc. and transfer to the Waffle Crew, then maybe that would happen, kind of as a way of passing the
It's just
torch. You know what I mean?
who knows?
You know?
If people want to come watch really depressing gameplay.
Oh, that would be
PAX.
awesome. I would love
And they're
that
like,
so
oh
much.
boy, Green Flame. Oh God, this is really awful. I can't even imagine having the Waffle Crew game, like any of our games, in front of that large of an audience. They'd be like, and it's a bag of faces. Yeah.
There's one more question somebody had. What was it, Nicole? I think I got them all. Can Strix make a witch's eye and plant it on Paulton?
I don't know what that
I don't
is.
know what that
Probably
is.
not.
A
She's
hag's
not good
eye. If she was a hag.
Yeah, but she can't. I don't think she can do that. All she can do is make healing potions and lie about what magic she knows.
Okay. Now, I'm really excited. Can you please tell us about your new campaign? That's on Thursday at 5, right?
Yeah, it's from 5 to 7 Pacific time. And yeah, so it's called Trapped in the Birdcage, which is a reference to Sigil, obviously. So that is the City of Doors. We have 4 players. 3 of them are from the Forgotten Realms, and 1 is from Eberron. One is a Warforged.
Yes.
Really?
Peter, yeah. And we have 1 elf and 2 humans. And so pretty much they are going to be swept away into the City of Doors, conscripted by the Were-Ravens of Sigil, which are actually in one of the 2nd edition books. Sigil actually has a faction of Were-Ravens. Yeah, so they're going to be conscripted by the Were-Ravens to help with some stuff in Sigil, and they will be trapped. So we'll see how they react to that.
Who are the players?
The players are my friend Chad Quant on Twitter. He's a writer for like Warner Brothers and DreamWorks. He actually wrote Troll Hunters.
That's right.
Nice.
Yeah, and so which makes him a great D&D player, and he's also super funny. My friend Asia is going to be playing, and she's new to D&D. So is Jimmy Wetzel, who is also playing, and they're both new. So I wanted a bunch of like new people who hadn't played before, except for Anna, of course. Anna's also going to be in it. So she's going to be playing Wilhelmine, which I haven't announced yet. I need to still tweet that out. And it's a great character. So they're all, it's amazing because we have 2 rogues. Chad is playing the Warforged named Reader, who's a rogue. Wilhelmine is also a rogue. Asia's character Nejma is a wizard, a bad wizard. And then Jimmy's character Saturn is a bard, and that's his stage name, Saturn.
Really?
Yes. So we have a very non-combat heavy party, and they can charm. I feel like they can charm the pants off of anyone. So I'm kind of tailoring the adventure around a little bit of that. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, go for it.
Is this live or is it?
It will be live. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh wow!
Nice.
Wow. I'm gonna watch that.
It will be live, and yeah, hopefully I pull that off.
2 hours. 2 hours long, right?
2 hours long. Yeah. Just
Are they starting at first level?
They are starting at 3rd level.
Oh.
3rd level.
Yeah.
Nice.
I couldn't justify like putting them in Sigil at 1st level. I was like, yeah, I don't want to do this.
No?
It's like, oh, you'll die.
Like, some spells, like.
Are you
Yeah.
using material from the books, or like
Yeah.
is this homebrewed, or are you running them through an official adventure?
It's homebrewed. It's all written by me.
Oh,
And I'm not running them through any old 2e ones or 5th edition ones. I'm using 5th edition rules and a lot of the 2nd edition Planescape content, but the whole adventure and all the NPCs and everything are all written by me.
Nice.
Now, Planescape, you've said before, is your favorite D&D setting, and I think for a lot of people this is going to be their first exposure to a D&D game played live on Twitch. What kind of things are you hoping to introduce to the audience that maybe are typical of Planescape, or a good way to introduce them to the setting?
Yeah, the interesting thing is kind of like what we did today and going into the Shadowfell, like things are not what they seem. Like in D&D, you think, I go to a city and there's an inn and a tavern and there's elves and dwarves and we all fight dragons and, we fight orcs and things like that. This is kind of like, Planescape isn't like that. Like things are a lot more convoluted and complicated and weird and bizarre. Anything can happen. And just like and it's got a little bit of that horror element that Chris loves so much because it is just so strange, but it's also more of like a, I don't know, I'm trying to think of like a good example. It's like, yeah, it's just like, it's just weird, and anything can happen. So like any NPC can come up, like a floating skull that talks to you, like a goat person, or like in our game, like when we had to find the portal key, it was like a little Christmas tree air freshener. So the other day I sat down and I made a table of 100 items, random items that they can find when they search things. So it might just be like a couple gold, and then this crazy item that I've like put together, like things like a tiny Viking helmet or half of a vinyl record, or like, so like I'm trying to just keep it like weird and kind of tied to our world too, because you can do that. It has like these ties to the multiverse, and like that's something that you don't have like in the Forgotten Realms. Like they're there, but you really don't get there until like high level. Like you really don't know the multiverse is really a big thing in Forgotten Realms. Like you just don't, and unless that's where you're going. So that's why I'm excited.
In the Planescape setting, they do have our gods from like the Egyptian, Norse, Greek pantheons.
Everything. So that everything is there. So it's like it's a cool way to just kind of be like, there is a big giant world out there, and you don't mean anything.
Are you gonna use any of the factions?
They'll probably run into the factions. That's like honestly my weakest part of Planescape that I like still struggle to understand to this day are the factions.
Yeah.
So
like they're so complicated. I love the setting, and I love the Dustmen. They'll definitely run into Dustmen because I love them. And I love the Athar. I love that. I love the idea of the Shattered Temple.
Yes.
And I think I'm for sure going to try and bring them to the Sensatorium for part of it.
Yes.
Because I love Spence too. And obviously like they'll see like the Mercy Killers, they'll see like the Doom Guard, that like they'll see these things, but I don't think they'll be in touch with any of the like factals of those, because like a lot of that is just so complicated, and I want them to see the cool factions again, like the Sensates, like maybe the Dustmen, like things like that.
And perhaps the Signers as well, who can create their own realities just by thinking.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Those are, but see, like, then you get there and I'm just like, oh, Jesus, I can't think about this. I'm just going to go back to the people that pick up dead bodies. Like, so I want them to experience like the super cool stuff. Oh, and someone asked in chat, which is a good question. Is it before or after the faction war? It is. I don't know. I don't know how that sits in lore, to be completely honest. Like, I don't know if they retcon Sigil, which I hope they do one day. Like, I don't know if it'll be before or after the faction war, because that changed so much and made it so complicated. So I'm just going to pretend that didn't happen, and we're just going to do before the faction war, just say that didn't happen. Like, because there's so much more content for before the faction war. Like, I can't just use what I have from like that one book. So
I think that's what most people do when they are running their Planescape games. Is it's just a more interesting world beforehand.
Yeah, no, and I totally agree. I totally agree with that.
Okay, I have a bunch of questions. First, is the group going to go to Eberron? Do you think you would ever have them jump into Eberron for like a session?
I mean, I can see how I would do that. Eberron is not, like, I don't know that much about Eberron, so it would have to be character based. So definitely if like reader has some like kind of like character moment, like I could definitely see myself doing something with that for sure. And it would just be like a brief jaunt for like just for some character development.
Sorry, my voice is kind of dying. I know with Eberron you can jump from Eberron to Sigil, but Eberron is sort of in its own fragment of a crystal sphere, and so it's separated from the rest of the multiverse.
That's right. It has
and
its
you
own
can't actually
planes. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's weird.
So it has like a Shadowfell, which is a cut-off version of the multiverse Shadowfell, and same with all the rest of the planes, and they have their own blood war going on. So
that's confusing. Somehow our Warforged gets to Sigil.
Yeah, because that's how you get Warforged in Sigil, because they find ways through, but they just realize, oh no, I can't get back.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Do you think your players will want to join a faction?
Maybe like they might. I mean, it depends on if they figure out what even going on, because like they're so new, they're being thrown into the fire. So if they want to, I mean, they could, but
because each faction has like different powers and stuff. You ever read the Factuals Manifesto?
Yes.
That's the book that like is the only thing that has set me straight on the factions, and that's where it's like you can kind of go in and kind of piece everything together. And kind of, that would be really cool if they. Almost everybody joins the Sensates. That's what I've noticed in Planescape.
I love the Sensates. Yeah. They're my favorite.
Yeah. There's so much information.
And it's funny though. It's like I also like the idea of Sigil where like the factions are there and they're like, I consider the factions kind of just like a government, like in a sense. Like they're there making the city run, you know, they're there to promote their philosophies and things like that. But they're part of the people that are wealthy enough to function. Whereas like there's so much of the city, like the merchants and the poor and things like that, don't have anything to do with them. Like they can't, like they're just trying to survive. So I like to think of like a lot of the things that like this party is going to see is going to be a lot of the like underworkings of Sigil. Like actually, it's a fun fact. Ross has a character that he's going to come in and play once in a while. There's an ooze method named Yox. And he works the sewers of Sigil. So like there's a lot of like fun things I added on how Sigil itself functions as a city that I've kind of just like used it like, so like there's ooze methods working in the sewers, there's a portal to ooze in the sewers, like there's like other like air methods, like there's a tea shop where steam methods are the ones that steam the water. Like it's just like I love using like all these different fun little planar things to kind of just like make a neat atmosphere.
Shauna, your video went out.
Oh no!
Oh no! It's fine.
Fine.
I love that Ross is playing yet another small trash character.
I know. I didn't mean to do that. It was an accident.
How are you going to handle the Lady of Pain? Are you going to use her at all, or how are you going to do that?
My wife.
So, I know. I haven't. I don't want to do that to people. I just don't want to do that to them. I don't want them to have like horrors upon horrors. I'll definitely have a lot of the NPCs like speak about her in reverence, like, and don't talk about that cutter kind of thing, you know, where they just like, you know, don't say her name, like don't do this. So like I will definitely have mention of her, but that's something that will probably come up maybe later. But it depends. I might just, if they start like killing Dabus and shit, like she's coming to get them. Like then we might, like if they did that, then I'd be like, all right, well the rest of the campaign you're mazed. I mean, you're all mazed, so there we are. Like I'm leaving it. I have a plot in mind of where I want to take them. But if they do something insane, I'm just gonna rewrite it because that's what Chris said. He said don't over prepare. So
yeah.
So if they do something,
your players inevitably ruin everything.
Exactly. So I have a plot. I have where it's going. I have what I want them to do. But if it goes a different direction, I am totally cool with that.
I can't wait for this show. It's gonna be. Really
I hope I do. My rules knowledge is terrible because I have dyscalculia where I reverse numbers. So everything I am terrible at math. I'm terrible at remembering rules. I'm really good at telling stories and having fun though. So I think it's gonna be okay.
Well, you'll probably have people in the chat who can.
Exactly. Exactly. And before we start the show, I'm gonna be like, hey, if anyone knows the rules better than me, you go ahead and tell me in chat. I don't care. I will.
The rules are guidelines.
Because I'm a DM. So
you pick and choose what you want out of the rules, and you make it fit your own adventure. And I think that Planescape's the perfect setting to do that because it's so different to anything else.
I'm really interested to see Holly run different NPCs with different personalities. I've only seen Holly run Strix. So whenever I think of Holly in D&D, I think of, you know what I mean? And now it's like, now Holly's going to run all these other, it's like bad guys, you know, merchants and stuff like that. I
learned a lot from Chris, so I'm hoping to do him proud because I would have never had the courage to do this if I hadn't been, you know, inspired by Chris so much while we play.
You know, everybody loves you. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. I can tell already. It's a great idea.
You are-
Everybody loves Holly, right? You have a good. It sounds like you have a good group of players, and you're doing Planescape, which everybody wants to know more about. So it's just like the best idea ever, I think, personally. That's
Planescape is it's objectively the best setting. I'm not biased at all.
I love it. And I'm setting them up in the market ward, so they're going to be able to see the Great Bazaar and like hopefully go to the Great Gymnasium and pass by all these crazy things. So like they're going to get like sensory overload in the first like few episodes.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see them go to the Burning Corpse bar.
Oh yeah.
I
think
that zombie outside makes me sad.
Yeah.
That one, the Dustman bar with the they nail stuff to him. It makes me sad.
It is sad. It is, but you know, it's useful.
All right, we are just about out of time.
I have one more question.
Yeah.
All right.
Are you going to be running any Tiefling NPCs?
Oh, for sure. There'll definitely be tieflings. Right now, I've been focusing on the Were-Ravens and like their whole like thing. And I'm not going to spoil anything, but it's I want to spoil it because it's such a good. I'm so proud of my story. I know. Really? I hope that my players don't kill Adabus so that I can do it. But there will be tiefling NPCs. There will be Baryar, which I still have only been reading. Baryar. I still don't know how to say.
I don't know.
I think it's pronounced Baryar.
Baryar. Okay, cool. So yeah, there's gonna be them. There's Mephits. There's going to be devils. There's going to be all kinds of stuff. So it's gonna be good.
It's gonna be awesome.
I already forgot how to say Baryar. Look, when you read this stuff for 10 years and no one says it to you, you have a wrong way of saying it.
Yeah. And it's hard to adjust. I've always said sigil. I never said sigil. And every time I hear
Tiefling. I had said Tiefling my whole life, and then when I found out it was wrong, I was like, oh no.
Yeah. All right, so we are out of time. This is going to re-air on Thursday. So some people watching this in the future are about to watch Holly's show. So Holly, you want to tell them anything before they watch Trapped in the Birdcage?
No, please come watch. It'll be super fun. And I just hope you enjoy it. Hooray!
All right.
And make sure to watch the show too and support everyone. Hooray!
Yeah. Thanks, everybody.
I am definitely going to be tuning into Trapped in the Birdcage. And also I want to give a shout out to Kayla Klein, who's done the amazing art for it.
It's so good.
Done the PCs, the NPCs, the logo. Amazing. Please go follow her. She does some Waffle Crew stuff as well. And it's also going to be in the Waffle Crew zine. There might be a special pre-order bonus from her. So keep an eye out for that.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, her art's really been so good, and it's so Planescape and so cool, and I'm just thrilled.
All right. And everybody, remember right now, Anna's running her show on Misclicks. So
go watch it right now.
I'm going to be in there
why are you watching us?
I'm going to be in there like I really, I'll be making stupid comments in there. So
and I actually have one more announcement. I'm actually every Monday at 6 p.m. PST or 5 p.m. PST. I'm actually playing in a Greyhawk game over on Return to Greyhawk on their Twitch channel. I'm playing a Tiefling, Vishara, who's a rogue, playing with some amazing people like Grant Ellis, Wise Papa Grant, if you've ever seen his stuff. We did our first episode yesterday, and it is so much fun. Awesome. And if you're interested in Greyhawk or characters like Igwilv, the Witch Queen, then go watch it because it looks like a lot is happening with that.
Oh,
and you can watch me play.
He's doing stuff with Sajkant and stuff, right?
Yes, we're playing through the classic adventure Sajkant.
Yeah! Oh, that's awesome. That'll be really good. All right, everybody. Super. Thank you very much.
All right.
Watch Anna's show and watch Holly's show, and thank you everybody for watching Waffle Crew and supporting us. We really appreciate it. All right.
Yay.
All right. Thanks everybody. See you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.